The stars were silent that night in deep space. Only one ship moved between them, the horizon. Inside it, Captain Ethan Cole, a human soldier, sat alone in the dark. His mission was simple: deliver a secret cargo to a research station beyond the Orion Belt. But something went wrong. Terribly wrong. A sudden flash filled the window, then the ship shook. "Warning. Reactor core unstable," said the cold voice of the ship's AI. Ethan grabbed the controls, trying to steady the spinning craft. Flames rose from the panels. Sparks hit his face. His hands burned as he shouted, "Come on! Hold together." The ship didn't listen. It screamed through the atmosphere of an unknown planet, a world glowing purple and gold. The engines exploded, throwing Ethan from his seat. The last thing he saw before blacking out was a strange beam of light rising from the planet's surface, like a signal calling him down. Hours later, he woke up to silence. Smoke. Ash. The ship was half buried in glowing sand. The air outside shimmered. Ethan stumbled out, coughing, his oxygen meter blinking red. The sky above was not like Earth. It was alive, moving like liquid light. He saw giant floating stones drifting in the air, glowing with blue veins. "Where?" "Emma," he whispered. No signal, no radio, just the sound of the wind and something else. A slow heartbeat echoing through the air, not his heartbeat. Something far away, deep under the ground. He walked toward it. Every step sank into soft purple dust that felt warm, almost breathing. The planet seemed to watch him. He passed broken towers made of silver crystal. Strange markings covered the walls, and on spirals, eyes, and suns. It looked like a city that had died long ago. Then he saw it, a large temple standing in the middle of the ruins. Light leaked from its cracks. The heartbeat was louder now, shaking the ground. Ethan raised his weapon and entered. Inside, the air was thick with golden mist. At the center of the temple lay something that looked human. But not. A tall figure with silver skin, long hair flowing like water, and eyes closed. Her chest moved slowly, and she was still alive, barely. Wounds covered her body, and golden blood shimmered across the floor. Ethan's heart raced. He knelt beside her. "Hey, can you hear me?" No answer. Her breathing was weak. Her pulse slow. His medical scanner blinked red. The blood type, unknown. Her DNA, unreadable, alien. But he could see she was dying. Ethan looked at his own arm, blood dripping from a cut. He had no tools, no medicine. "Only instinct," he whispered. "I can't just watch you die." He pressed his hand against her wound, hoping to stop the bleeding. But the moment his skin touched hers, a spark of light shot through his body. He screamed. His blood glowed bright red and gold and swirling like fire. The woman's body arched up, her eyes snapping open. They shone like twin suns, human. A voice spoke, not from her mouth, but inside his mind. Ethan froze. What are you?" She stared at him, her lips trembling. "You gave me life." The room began to shake. The crystals on the walls pulsed like hearts. Ethan fell backward, his hand still glowing. His vision blurred as he saw shapes moving in the mist. Armored figures, their faces hidden behind silver masks. They aimed weapons at him. "Hold your fire," shouted a deep voice. "The Queen lives." "Queen?" Ethan thought, dazed. The alien woman stood weakly, but light surrounded her like a crown. She looked at Ethan, her expression unreadable. One of the guards pointed at him. "Your Majesty, the human has broken the sacred law." His blood touched royal blood. "He must die." Ethan raised his hands. "Wait, I didn't mean, I was trying to save her." But the guards closed in. The Queen's eyes glowed brighter. She lifted her hand and the soldiers froze in place, unable to move. She spoke again, her voice echoing in his head. "No, he is mine now. His life is tied to mine. If he dies, I die too." Ethan's heart pounded. "What do you mean, tied?" But before she could answer, the sky above the temple cracked with thunder. A huge shadow passed over the planet, dark ships moving like monsters through the clouds. The Queen's face turned pale. "They found us," she whispered. Ethan looked up. "Who?" She stared at the dark sky. "The Devourers. They have come to finish what they started." The ground trembled. Fire fell from the sky. Ethan grabbed her arm. "We need to move." But she shook her head. "It's too late. Unless your blood can save more than just me." Before he could ask what she meant, the world exploded in light. The blast faded into silence. Smoke curled through the ruins. The temple was gone. Only glowing dust remained. Ethan lay half buried in it, his head spinning, his body trembling. Every breath felt like fire. Then, a voice inside his head, calm, ancient. "Wake up, human. Our time has not ended yet." Ethan opened his eyes. He was lying in a strange chamber made of crystal and light. The air hummed softly. Beside him stood the alien queen, alive, shining brighter than before. Her wounds were gone. Her golden skin glowed softly like a sunrise after a storm. He tried to speak, but his throat was dry. How did we survive?" She looked at him with unreadable eyes. "Your blood. It protected us both." Ethan touched his arm and saw golden veins glowing faintly under his skin. Panic hit him. "What the hell did you do to me?" The queen stepped closer. Her voice was calm but filled with power. "You gave me your life force. I gave you mine. Now we are bound. 2 souls in one thread. If I die, you die too." Her words sank deep into him like ice. Bound, he wasn't sure if it was a gift or a curse. Outside the chamber, Ethan could hear the echoes of explosions in the distance. The planet trembled again. He looked around. Alien guards stood watch, their armor glowing like molten glass. They stared at him with hatred, whispering words he couldn't understand. One of them hissed, "He is a poison. His kind destroyed their own world. Why should he touch our queen?" Another guard raised his weapon, but the queen lifted her hand. Instantly, the air froze. "No one touches him," she said. "His blood saved me." They lowered their heads, but the hatred in their eyes remained. Ethan looked at her, confused. "They don't trust me. Maybe they're right." "You will earn their trust," she said softly, "if you live long enough." A shadow moved across the sky again, the Devourers. Massive ships like black serpents crawled above the clouds, releasing beams of burning light. The queen turned to Ethan. "You must understand what you've done. Your blood, it changed everything. It carries both your spirit and mine. That has never happened before in the universe." Ethan frowned. "Then why do I feel so strange?" "Because you are no longer fully human," she said. "Your cells are learning to speak to mine. You are becoming something new." Ethan stared at his hands. The skin shimmered like starlight. He could feel her heartbeat, not his own, but hers, deep inside his chest. He looked at her. "What are you really?" She smiled sadly. "I am Araya, last queen of the Elithra. My people once ruled the stars. We brought light to dying worlds. But the Devourers came out, machines born from our own pride. We created them to protect life, and they turned against it." Ethan's heart sank. "You built your own destroyers." "Yes," she whispered. "And now they will erase all life, including yours." The ground shook again. One of her guards rushed in, kneeling. "My queen, the Devourer fleet is in orbit. They will reach the city in minutes." Araya's calm face hardened. "Then we fight." Ethan stood up. "Wait, you can't fight them alone. You don't even have enough soldiers." She turned to him. "Do humans still fight when they have no chance?" He nodded slowly. "Always." "Then we share that fire," she said. "Perhaps your spirit was meant to find mine." As they left the crystal chamber, Ethan saw the horizon burn. Gigantic machines descended from the sky, black towers with red eyes feeding on energy, devouring everything in their path. The alien soldiers screamed as the air turned into fire. Ethan felt the queen's fear through their link, and something else. Pain. He touched his chest. His veins burned gold again. "I can feel them. It's like they're inside me." "They are drawn to your blood," she said. "They sense the light inside it." "Then they'll come for me," Ethan said. She nodded. "Yes, and that's why you must survive." A blast hit nearby, throwing them to the ground. Dust filled the air. Ethan covered her with his body as debris rained around them. "Are you hurt?" he shouted. She looked at him surprised. "You protect me even now?" He smiled weakly. "Guess that's my job now." She stared at him for a long moment. This human who gave his blood for a stranger. Something soft flickered in her golden eyes. Then the temple walls cracked again. A massive shadow appeared. A devourer general, tall as a building, made of black light and steel. Its voice echoed like thunder. "The hybrid must be erased." Ethan stood up, shaking, his weapon in hand. The queen stepped beside him. "You will not touch him," she said, her voice turning into light. The ground broke open. Energy surrounded them both. red and gold twisting together like fire and sun. The devourer roared. The war for the universe had begun. The ground trembled under Ethan's boots. The devourer general stood before him, a giant made of black light and metal, its voice rumbling through the air like thunder. The hybrid must be erased. Ethan raised his weapon, but the creature's shadow moved faster than lightning. A beam of dark energy struck him in the chest. He fell backward, gasping, his vision fading. But then, something impossible happened. His golden veins flared to life. The beam that should have killed him dissolved mid-air, absorbed into his skin. The light spread through his body, hot but alive, like burning sun inside his heart. The Queen Araya watched in shock. "Your blood!" "It resists them," she whispered. "It rejects their darkness." Ethan stood up slowly, the golden glow running through his hands. "What's happening to me?" "You are changing," Araya said. "My essence inside you is fighting to survive. You are no longer only human, Ethan Cole. You are something between our worlds." The Devourer General screamed, the ground shaking as it attacked again. Ethan moved without thinking, his body reacting faster than his mind. He raised his hands and a burst of golden energy shot out, pushing the monster backward. He stared at his own glowing palms in disbelief. "I undid that?" Araya stepped beside him. "Yes, the bond has awakened." The creature roared and vanished into smoke. The sky quieted, leaving the two of them standing in the ruins, breathing hard. Hours later, they took shelter inside a broken citadel. The stars outside flickered like dying candles. Ethan sat on a stone ledge, his hands still trembling. He turned to Araya. "You said our lives are connected, but what does that really mean?" She looked away, her voice soft. "It means if one of us falls, the other follows. Our hearts beat as one. When you bleed, I bleed." Ethan touched the golden veins glowing faintly on his wrist. "So I'm part alien now, part Elithran," she said. "Our kind carry light inside our blood. It gives us power to heal, to shape energy. Your human body is learning that language." He gave a nervous laugh. "Learning fast, I guess." She smiled gently. "Faster than I expected." Their eyes met, human brown and alien gold. For a moment, the war outside didn't exist, only silence. Only the strange feeling that their souls were touching. Then the ground shook again, this time from distant explosions. The Devourers were not gone. Ethan followed Araya to a balcony overlooking the valley. Dozens of ships hovered above the horizon, burning everything below. Her soldiers fought bravely but were losing ground. He clenched his fists. "We can't just watch this," Araya nodded. "We won't. The blood bond makes us stronger together. If we join minds, we may create a shield to protect them." "Join minds?" Ethan asked. "Through the link. You must open your thoughts to me." He hesitated. "You'll see everything?" "Yes," she said softly. "Every memory, every pain, every truth." He took a breath and nodded. "Then do it." The moment her hand touched his, the world vanished. Ethan's mind filled with visions, stars exploding, golden cities floating in space, Elithrans flying through light. Then darkness, the Devourers consuming whole worlds. He saw Araya's past. Her people destroyed, her crown shattered, her loneliness stretching across centuries. Tears burned his eyes. "You've lost everything. And yet," she said in his mind, "you came from the stars and gave your blood without fear." Their hearts beat together, two rhythms becoming one. Then the energy exploded outward. A sphere of golden light covered the city, blocking the Devourers' beams. Soldiers below looked up, shouting in awe. For the first time in years, they felt hope. Araya gasped. "Ethan, it's working." But the power was too strong. His human body couldn't handle it. Blood dripped from his nose. He shouted, "I can't hold it much longer." "Stay with me," she said, her hands glowing brighter. "Focus on my voice." The shield held for a few seconds more, then burst like glass. Ethan collapsed, falling to his knees. Araya caught him before he hit the ground. His eyes flickered open. "Did we save them?" She smiled faintly. "For now." Her hand touched his cheek. "You are not just a soldier anymore, Ethan. You are the bridge between light and flesh. Between despair and hope?" He tried to smile. "Then let's hope this bridge doesn't break." Araya looked up at the dark sky where the Devourers were regrouping. "They will come again," she said. "And next time they won't stop." Ethan looked at his glowing hand, fear and fire in his eyes. "Then neither will we." The sky burned gold and red as dawn rose over the alien world. But it wasn't sunlight, it was fire. The Devourers had returned. Their ships hung in the air like giant black scars, swallowing clouds and light. Every second, another beam struck the ground, turning forests into glass. Ethan Cole stood on the fortress wall beside Queen Araya. Wind ripped through his torn uniform, and golden light pulsed faintly in his veins. The blood bond was alive, humming inside him like a living flame. He could feel her heartbeat beside his own, steady, powerful, unbroken. Below them, thousands of alien warriors gathered. The Elithran Guard, armored in silver and light. Their weapons glowed faintly, but they were few compared to the enemy above. Ethan looked at the endless sky of metal and death. "We can't win this head-on," he said. "They'll crush us before we even reach their ships." Araya turned her golden eyes toward him. "Then how would humans fight this?" He thought for a moment. "We don't fight them directly. We fight smart. We hit where they don't expect, fast, small, invisible." "Guerrilla warfare," she said, reading his thoughts through their link. He smiled faintly. "Exactly." In the war room, Ethan spread a holographic map on the crystal table. "They have a control ship in here," he said, pointing to a massive red mark in orbit. "If we destroy that, we break their link to the others. The fleet goes blind." Araya studied the map. "But their energy core is pure dark matter. Only our royal energy can reach it." Ethan's veins glowed brighter. "Then I guess it's a good thing I've got royal blood now." The room fell silent. The Elithran commanders looked at him in disbelief. A human leading them? It had never happened before. One of them stepped forward, voice cold. "You don't belong here, human. You bring death wherever you go." Ethan met his gaze calmly. "Maybe. But I also bring something else." He looked out the window where fire fell from the sky. "Hope." The Queen stood beside him, her voice firm. "He saved my life. He carries our light now. You will follow him as you follow me." No one dared to argue again. Hours later, the attack began. Alien flyers soared into the air, sleek and glowing. Ethan led the first squad, his human instincts guiding alien machines. They weaved between enemy fire, striking from shadows, vanishing before the Devourers could respond. For a moment, it worked. But the Devourers adapted fast. Their ships turned like beasts sensing prey. They released swarms of black drones that moved like smoke, fast, endless, merciless. "Ethan, they are surrounding you." Araya's voice echoed in his head. "I see them," he shouted, spinning his craft through a storm of energy. His controls glowed gold as his blood responded. His ship moved like it had a mind of its own. He flew straight toward a Devourer cruiser and fired a burst of light. The explosion tore through its armor. The soldiers below cheered. "The hybrid fights like a god!" But victory didn't last. A giant energy beam hit the fortress. Walls shattered. The Elithran soldiers screamed as fire rained down. Araya ran to the edge of the balcony, eyes wide with horror. Ethan landed hard near her, smoke rising from his armor. "We need to get your people out of here." She shook her head. "No, if we retreat now, we lose the core city at the heart of my world." He grabbed her arm. "If you die, everyone loses." For a moment, their eyes locked, fire meeting gold. Then a deep rumble shook the ground. From the heart of the battlefield, the Devourer general emerged again, larger, stronger, rebuilt from the wreckage. Its voice split the air. "The hybrid's blood belongs to us." Ethan's pulse quickened. He could feel the creature's energy pulling at his veins, trying to drain him. Araya stepped forward, light blazing from her hands. "You will not have him." The general raised its arm, firing a dark wave. Ethan pushed her aside and took the hit. Pain tore through his body. The golden veins flared wildly, burning hotter and hotter. "Ethan!" Araya screamed, kneeling beside him. He gasped, clutching her hand. "It's okay. I can feel it. My blood is fighting back." A pulse of pure gold erupted from his chest, spreading through the battlefield. The dark drones froze midair. The Devourer general staggered, roaring in rage. For a moment, everything stopped, time itself holding its breath. Ethan stood, weak but smiling faintly. "Looks like your blood and mine make a good team." Araya helped him to his feet. "Together we can end them." He nodded, staring at the burning horizon where enemy ships gathered again. "Then let's finish this." As the two of them rose above the battlefield, their joined light formed a golden spear that pierced the sky. Every soldier below watched, believing for the first time that they might survive. The war had begun. But this time the universe would remember the day a human and an alien queen fought side by side. The war had slowed, but the air still smelled of smoke and sorrow. The battlefield was quiet now, scattered fires glowing like dying stars. Ethan stood beside Queen Araya on the fortress balcony, both staring at the horizon where the last Devourer's ship had vanished into the clouds. The Illithrans called it a victory, but Ethan could feel it wasn't over. The enemy was retreating, not defeated. He could sense it, a cold pulse somewhere deep in his blood, as if the darkness itself was watching. Araya's voice broke the silence. "We bought time, nothing more." Ethan nodded. "Then we use it. We need to find where they're coming from. Cut off their power." She turned to him, her golden eyes soft. "You talk like a king, human." He smiled faintly. "No, just someone who's tired of losing." That night, the Queen's Council gathered inside the Crystal Hall, tall beings of light, wrapped in silver robes. They bowed to her, but when they looked at Ethan, their eyes were sharp and cold. One of them, Lord Kale, stepped forward. His face was lined with pride and bitterness. "My queen," he said, "we cannot trust this human any longer. His blood is unnatural. His power grows faster than ours. What if he becomes another devourer?" Ethan clenched his fists. "You think I wanted this?" Kale's voice dripped with venom. "You carry the queen's blood. That is sacred and unforbidden. You are a danger to everything we are." Araya's tone turned to steel. "Enough, Kale. Without him, I would be dead. Our world would be dust." But Kale only bowed low, hiding the shadow in his eyes. "As you command, my queen." Ethan didn't see the way Kale's fingers twitched, forming a silent code to the guards outside. A secret plan already moving. Later, as night fell across the ruins, Ethan walked alone through the empty corridors of the fortress. His reflection shimmered faintly in the glass walls, golden veins glowing under his skin. The blood bond pulsed softly, and he could feel Araya's presence in the back of his mind. Warm, steady, but tired, he whispered to the air, "You still awake?" Her voice came gently in his head. "I don't sleep much anymore. The bond keeps me near you. Feels strange," he said. "Like you're inside my thoughts." "Maybe that is how fate speaks," she replied softly. Before Ethan could answer, the lights flickered. A faint hiss echoed through the corridor. "Then silence, Araya," he whispered. No response. The next second, pain exploded through his neck. He fell to the ground, dizzy, vision fading. The last thing he saw was Lord Kale's face, calm, cold, and full of triumph. When Ethan woke, everything was dark. His hands were chained to a metal wall. The air smelled of rust and ash. Outside the window, he saw stars, but they weren't moving. They were stationary, floating beside him. He wasn't on the planet anymore. He was on a devourer ship. His heart raced. "No, no, no, no," footsteps echoed. A familiar voice spoke from the shadows. "You should thank me, human. You will finally meet your true creators." Ethan's eyes widened. Kale. The Illithran stepped out of the dark, his once golden eyes now filled with faint black light. "Our queen has lost her way. She chose you, an immortal, over her own kind. But the devourers understand power. They promised me a place beside them." Ethan pulled against the chains, fury in his voice. "You betrayed her." Kale smiled coldly. "I saved our species. Your blood will give them what they need. The key to controlling the light again." The door behind him slid open with a hiss. A wave of dark mist entered, forming a shape, tall, hollow, full of whispering voices. It was a devourer overseer. Its voice was like metal grinding on bone. "The hybrid lives. Good, the experiment continues," Ethan shouted. "I'm not your experiment." The creature extended a hand of smoke and steel, pressing it against Ethan's chest. His golden veins flared, burning bright. The creature jerked back, screaming in static pain. "Impossible." His blood rejects the void. Kale stepped back, shocked. What's happening?" Ethan's eyes glowed like suns. His chains melted. The blood bond roared to life inside him, and through it he felt Araya's fear, her anger, her voice. "Ethan, I can feel you." "What have they done?" He gritted his teeth. "They tried to use me, but I'm done being a weapon." With one shout, light exploded from his body, pure gold flooding the chamber. The devourer's form shattered, screaming into nothing. Kale fell to his knees, blinded. Ethan grabbed him by the collar. "Tell Araya I'm coming back and I'm bringing hell with me." Then he smashed through the window. Space itself seemed to bend around his glowing form as he fell toward the planet below. Half human, half Illithran, a living weapon of light. Fire streaked through the night sky, not from a ship, but from a man. Ethan Cole fell from orbit like a comet of gold. Flames surrounded him as he crashed into the desert plains of Illithra, shaking the earth for miles. When the dust cleared, he stood, breathing hard, skin cracked with light, eyes glowing like twin suns. He was no longer just human. He was something else, something born from both bloods, the child of fire and light. Far away in her crystal palace, Queen Araya felt the tremor through the blood bond. Her heart leapt. "Ethan," she whispered, her voice trembling between fear and hope. For days she had thought him dead, lost to Kale's betrayal. But now she could feel him again, alive, changed. She ran to the balcony, her golden robes flowing like liquid light. Above the horizon, a golden storm rose where he had landed. Every living Illithran stopped to look. The wind itself whispered his name. "The hybrid returns," said one of her generals, bowing low. Araya's eyes softened. "Not a hybrid," she said. "He is one of us now, and more." Ethan staggered toward the fortress, his armor torn, his body glowing faintly with golden cracks. The people stared in silence as he passed, and half in awe, half in fear. When Araya came to meet him, time seemed to stop. She reached out her hand slowly, her voice breaking. "I thought I lost you," he smiled weakly. "You can't get rid of me that easily." She touched his chest, right where her light burned inside him. "What did they do to you?" He looked down, remembering the dark ship, the pain, the screams. "They tried to take my blood, but it changed me instead. I saw what they are, Araya. They're not alive. They're machines, built by your ancestors. But they've evolved. They feed on life now, light, blood, energy, anything that lives." Her eyes dimmed. "Then they are our own sins given form." Ethan nodded. "And now they're coming to erase everything." In the great hall, the leaders gathered again. Kale was gone. No one had found his body. Ethan stood before them, stronger than before, but more distant too. His voice echoed. "The Devourers are building something bigger. A world engine, a machine that will drain the life from every star. We have one chance to stop it," the generals murmured in fear. "Impossible. That engine is in the void belt. No ship can reach it." Ethan smiled slightly. "Maybe no ship. But I can." Araya turned sharply. "Ethan, no. The void belt kills everything that enters." "I've been in their ship," he said. "My blood survived their darkness. Maybe I can walk through it." Araya stepped closer. "If you die, I die too. Do you forget our bond?" He looked into her glowing eyes. "Then we live or die together." For a long moment, no one spoke. The room was heavy with silence and light. Finally, Araya took his hand. "Then we fight as one." The next day, the skies filled with light. Humans from distant colonies had answered the call, joining the Illithrans in orbit. A fleet unlike any other was forming, silver and steel beside fire and flesh. Ethan and Araya stood in the control chamber of her royal ship. Through the crystal window they could see the stars bending, the void belt glowing like a black ocean ahead. "Once we enter," Ethan said quietly, "there's no going back." Araya nodded. There never was. She reached out her hand. "Together?" He took it. "Always." When their palms touched, the blood bond flared like a supernova. Light filled the chamber, and for a heartbeat they were no longer two beings, but one. A perfect blend of human courage and Illithran power. Their energy spread through the fleet like wildfire, linking every ship, every soldier. From above, it looked like a single giant star moving through space. They entered the void. Darkness surrounded them, alive, whispering, twisting. The Devourer fleet emerged like monsters from a dream, thousands strong. Their voices echoed through the void. The hybrid and the queen must be consumed. Ethan felt the pressure, the pull of their gravity, but his light burned stronger. "You want my blood?" he shouted. "Then take it!" He raised his hand and a golden beam tore through the darkness, striking the first Devourer ship. It exploded like a dying sun. The fleet roared in answer, a storm of black fire. Araya closed her eyes, her voice inside his mind. "Ethan, your power is not endless. You will burn yourself," he smiled softly. "Then let me burn bright." As the battle raged, the Queen's fleet pushed toward the heart of the void. the massive world engine pulsing like a black heart. It was beautiful and terrifying, built from the bones of dead stars. Araya's voice filled the command channel. This is it. The blood of two worlds will end this night. Ethan's hands glowed brighter than ever. Then let's give the universe a reason to remember us. They flew side by side into the darkness. One human, one queen, one heartbeat, ready to face the machine that could destroy all creation. The void screamed. Stars flickered like dying candles as the world engine came to life. A massive sphere of black metal and glowing veins, the heart of the devourers. Every beat of that machine pulled the light from nearby suns, turning space into shadow. Ethan Cole and Queen Araya flew at its center, their joined fleet behind them, humans and Illithrans united under one light. But even together, they were tiny compared to the giant engine that fed on galaxies. Ethan's voice echoed through the comms. If we destroy the core, everything ends. Their power, their army, all of it. Araya nodded. But the blast will consume us. He smiled faintly. You once said our blood is one. Then our end will be one too. Her eyes softened. You've always spoken like a fool. Yeah, he said, but maybe a brave one. The fleet began its final charge. Devourer ships swarmed like black waves, firing beams that tore through the void. But Ethan and Araya moved together, golden energy wrapping around them like wings. Every time a ship fired, Ethan's light curved the beam away. Every time a drone attacked, Araya's energy dissolved it into dust. Through the bond, he could hear her thoughts. Every fear, every heartbeat. Ethan, if we fail, the stars will die. Then we don't fail. They broke through the outer wall of the world engine. The inside was worse. Endless tunnels of dark energy, whispering voices calling their names. The machine was alive, aware, and hungry. Welcome creation's mistake, the Devourer core said in 1,000 voices. You are neither human nor God. You are the infection we must erase. Ethan felt his strength fading. The energy inside him flickered like a candle in the wind. But Araya touched his hand, her voice gentle and steady. You are more than either world, Ethan. You are proof that light and flesh can live as one. Her words ignited him. His veins blazed gold again, brighter than before. Together they reached the core, a giant heart made of black crystal beating like thunder. Ethan raised his hand, golden energy spiraling around it. This is for every world you burned. But before he could strike, the Devourer energy surged, trapping them in chains of shadow. Ethan struggled, but the darkness held tight, draining his power. Araya screamed, her own light dimming. Ethan! He felt her pain through the bond, sharp, endless, unbearable. He shouted, if you take her, you take me! And then something ancient awoke inside him. The bond between them shattered all limits. Their blood became one flame, gold and white, brighter than any sun. The chains melted away. They floated together, surrounded by fire. Araya looked at him, tears of light in her eyes. If we use this power, we die. Ethan smiled. Then let's die saving everything. They pressed their hands together. Their joined energy roared through the core, light exploding outward, filling every tunnel, every shadow. The Devourers screamed, their metal bodies cracking like glass. The world engine imploded, collapsing into pure light. The fleet outside saw a golden explosion cover the sky, so bright that even dead stars began to shine again. Silence followed. When the light faded, the Devourer fleet was gone. The void was no longer black. It shimmered with newborn stars glowing softly like golden dust. In the center of that light, two figures floated, one human, one Illithran. Their hands still touched, their faces calm. They were no longer breathing, but their light didn't fade. It spread, weaving into the starlight around them. The universe itself whispered their names. Ethan Cole, Araya, Queen of Light. Centuries passed. New civilizations rose from the ashes. Children on distant worlds looked up at the night sky and saw a new galaxy glowing brighter than all the rest. They called it Elithra's heart, though others had another name, Ethan's light. Legends said two souls had given everything to save creation. Some claimed that when the stars were quiet, you could still hear a voice in the wind, half human, half divine, whispering across eternity. He gave his blood to save the alien queen, and the universe changed forever.